Okay, hi guys. It's Mrs. Peterson again. So in today's lesson, or video, I wanted to, address some concerns that I had when I was grading your assignments. And that's kind of how these things are going to go. Every time that I see that there's a problem, or really just kind of anything that I think might be important for you to know and that we should go over with in class, because everybody's going, again, at their own pace. Anyways, so I just wanted to kind of get started and kind of just tell you what we're going to talk about. We'll just kind of dive in, and I have some objectives for you guys. Again, I will post this PowerPoint onto Odysseyware so that you can have it. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so obviously where it says let's get started. So some of our objectives today are going to be, I can understand the difference between a motif and theme. I can understand what a motif is. I can understand what theme is. I can understand what connotation and denotation is. And I can understand what imagery is. And I can understand how imagery is used and its importance in poetry. Okay, I know that we're all at different places and different parts of English 10, but I feel like these across the board were the most important to go over. Okay, so what is motif? I know you probably haven't even heard of this word because a lot of your assignments have been asking you, what is theme? But most of you have been giving me what you think theme is, but it's really a motif, okay? So a motif in a literary piece, a motif is a recurrent image, idea, or symbol that develops or explains a theme. Okay, for example, in Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, him saying, I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, over and over and over again, is a motif. It's a recurrent, or repeated over and over again. It puts this image in our head so we know exactly what he wants to say. And every time he says, I have a dream, we understand that that's important and that we should listen, right? So that is motif. I have a dream is not a theme. Okay, another example, in Macbeth, one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, it's talking about a dagger over here, a dagger over there, physically or mentally, and it's in so many scenes. That is a motif, okay? It is putting this image and this symbol in our heads, and it really helps explain a theme and leads up to a theme. Also in Macbeth, blood on the hands, blood everywhere with the soldiers and all the people dying. That's a motif. It's a recurrent image, symbol, or idea that develops, that goes towards the theme. Okay? And I think this is important for you to know. Motif helps emphasize a theme. It is not a theme. Most of you have been giving me motifs when I said theme. Like, oh, the theme is love. That's not a theme. Okay? That's motif. Okay? Which brings us to theme. Theme is defined as a main idea or underlying meaning of a literary work that may be stated directly or indirectly. So what it means by that is theme could be just flat out said, like, hey, yo, this is the theme. Or it could be indirect, where we have to figure that out. Okay? So these are not one-worded statements. I can't tell you how much that bugs me. That's not theme. That would be a subject, or again, a motif. Theme should be defined in a sentence or a phrase. That's when you know that's a theme, okay? And it encompasses everything. Theme is not one-worded. For example, in I Have a Dream, a theme could be equality leads to hate, or even equality is the best way to live. Why? Because that's the message of his entire work, right? And in Romeo and Juliet, it could be love is blind or love is stupid, depending on how you read that play. But it's not one worded. It's a sentence or a phrase. Or in Sherlock Holmes, pick a book, any book. Crime never pays, or evil is always punished. That is a theme. In those motifs, those one words like a dagger or blood or mystery or anything like that, that leads up to the theme. It helps emphasize the theme. Like in I Have a Dream. Him saying, I have a dream, I have a dream. That leads up to him talking about the equality is the best way to live, or inequality leads to hate. Okay, all those dreams, all those images that he puts in their head, that leads up to it. So that is the difference between motif and theme. They are very, very easily confused, but they are very, very different. Okay, but before I go on, I kind of just wanted to say, if you have questions about these or you are still confused, you can do one of a few different things. You can email me. You can leave a comment below on this YouTube video. You could call me or text me. Really, those are your options, and I'm here for you until we figure out this live streaming issue or other new ways to have a live quote-unquote class, even though I know most of you probably wouldn't show up because not a lot of you watched the first video. You guys need to be watching these, and I'm going to be uploading these just because right now, until we figure something out, until we troubleshoot something else, this is it. So you have all this time. You have my office hours of Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1:15 to 2:15, to openly ask me about these. So please use that time. Okay, let's continue. Okay, next is connotation versus denotation. I know some of you, a lot of you've got it, but some of you don't quite get it, and we're kind of confused about connotation versus denotation. So I just kind of wanted to break it down for you. Oh, and I forgot to put denotation in there, but we'll talk about that. Okay, connotation refers to a meaning that is implied by a word apart from the thing which it describes explicitly. Words carry cultural and emotional associations or meanings in addition to their literal meanings or denotations. Okay, pretty much connotation is a literary meaning. It has different things that can be implied to it. So these can be positive or negative. Okay, for example, ugh, you're such a pig. This is implying that someone is messy or whatever based on your cultural background or personal beliefs. And that's normally a negative connotation. I can't think of an instance where you're such a pig is positive. Or a second example, and I'll take this really famous Shakespeare quote, all the world is a stage and the men and women are merely players. This is not a real stage. This is talking about life. The stage is life. Okay, in denotation, I just realized I forgot to put the slide in there, so I apologize. Denotation, quite simply put, is the dictionary definition. Okay, so it is what it is. Pen. I am writing with a pen. That's the dictionary definition. Pen is a pen. However, if I was to flip it and say the pen is mightier than a sword, than the sword, which is also a Shakespeare quote, then it's talking about a pen in a different way, saying that that the pen is our weapon, that that written word is our weapon. Okay, but just saying I am writing with a pen. That is a dictionary definition. Or I am talking on the phone. That is a dictionary definition. It's when it's really talking about something else, that's when you know it's connotative, or that you should be implying, or it really does mean something else. That's connotative. Dictionary definition, though, is denotative. So think of that, D-E-D. Denotative, dictionary. Connotation implies something else. Okay. Now, let's go into imagery a little bit, and this is kind of a big thing, especially in poetry and really in all sorts of literature. I really just wanted to take a minute and talk about it with you guys. Okay, so imagery represents objects, actions, and ideas in such a way that appeals to our physical senses. Okay? Physical senses. We have 5 of them, right? 5. The feel, touch, taste, hear, smell. All of our 5 senses, if you can possibly apply that to a poem, that's when you know it's using imagery. Okay, so think of your senses. All 5 of them. Unless you have a 6th sense, but I don't want you to talk about it. So if you can apply your 5 senses to it, you know that it's imagery. Okay? So, we're going to apply this imagery. I'm going to kind of break it down with you a little bit just because I feel like as an English teacher, this is really important to me, and I really think imagery is important and has such a huge impact in any sort of literature. So I really want to talk about it with you guys. Okay. So we are going to take one of my favorite poems ever by the great Robert Frost, which is The Road Not Taken. So The Road Not Taken is about 4 stanzas long. It's not very long at all, but we're going to take it 2 stanzas at a time. Okay. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. We can stop right there, and that whole sentence is just imagery. We are seeing 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. Okay? Oh, did you guys not see that? I think I forgot to put that there. I don't know why it's not going up there. Okay, there it is. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. Okay. That whole sentence right there, packed with imagery. This whole poem is packed with imagery, which is why I think this is the best one to use. Okay, so 2 roads diverged. When it's talking about 2 roads diverged, that's a physical like split. 2 roads diverged. So you can even think of this as like a fork in the road. Okay? Fork in the road. Fork in the road. So 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. What could this possibly mean? 2 roads diverged. That's pretty much like denotative meaning. They physically split in a yellow wood. Right here, yellow. This color right here is flashing before our eyes. Okay? This is really, when you think of yellow, what do you think of? Well, wood, for right now, I'm going to tell you guys, is a forest, and what's in the forest? Trees. All right? So when we think yellow wood, what's happening? Fall. It's a change of season. So 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. That kind of brings to mind, like, oh my gosh, this is really impactful. Like, okay, there's 2 forks in a row, yellow wood. Okay, road, right in the middle of the road, and the season's changing. It's about to be fall, and I'm sorry I could not travel both. So this guy is sorry he can't travel both roads. Okay, so again, it's this both. That should be imagery that, again, this is 2, reiterating the first line. And be one traveler, long I stood. Okay, we have this of a traveler, one traveler. I don't know what you guys think of when you think of traveler, but I think of, I don't know, this kind of like guy with like a rucksack on his back. Okay, so we get this image. It's like, it's this one person, so that's another sense of imagery. And he's looking and he's like, oh, I can't take both roads. He can't split himself into 2. He has to pick one. Okay? And long I stood. So he's standing there for a long time. So again, we get this image in our heads. It's a sense of time passing. And looked down one as far as I could. Okay, so we understand now by this far aspect, this is a good image in our head that these roads are very long. To where it bent in the undergrowth. Now, I know people have a hard time, but undergrowth, I want you guys to think of like bushes and like bristles and like pokey things that are going everywhere. If you've ever been hiking the undergrowth, there are like all the bushes, everything under there that's just kind of sticking out. So he's in this road. He's looking at this road and it's bent to where he can finally see the bushes, where it's starting to finally be really thigeted. Okay. Then took the other as just as fair. So the other road is just as fine, is just as fair, having perhaps the better claim. When it's talking about claim, we've talked a little bit about this, right? In our last lesson, like a claim is like an assertion. It's like it's a point. So this other road might even be the better option. And having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Okay, I love this line. Because it was grassy. Everybody likes to frolic where it's nice and grassy, right? Where it's really green and fresh and lush. And when it's talking about wanted wear, he can tell that many people have traveled that, right? Though as for the passing there, had worn them about the same. Okay, right there, it's saying that it's worn. So people have traveled on it. So think of like worn shoes. Okay? many people have traveled both of them. They look about the same as like worn. So many people have traveled both roads. They look just fine. And both that morning equally lay. Okay, so it's just talking about how the roads look, and we can now say that it's morning time. And leaves no step had trodden black. So you guys know when it kind of gets, like, especially here in Idaho, when you're outside and the season's kind of changing. Fall's awesome, but like another thing that comes with fall is sometimes it gets kind of wet and smushy, and all the leaves turn black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, talking about another road. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, so he's again just talking about the different roads leading on to each other. If I doubted I should ever come back. Okay, this guy is literally thinking, I don't know if I should come back, or what should I do? I should be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. So we can tell that now, ages and ages hence, this is giving us another sense of time, another sense of imagery, that time will pass. And he's saying in this tale with a sigh, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. So he has taken the road that no one else has taken, and that has made all the difference. Okay, I know that when you guys are thinking, you're like, okay, great, it's talking about a wood, there's bushes, it's grassy, now what? Okay, but this imagery impacts this poem so much, and I'm about to show you the real meaning and why imagery is such a powerful piece, and why you have to dig deeper. You have to really think of the connotative meanings that are happening here, and not just denotative. I know for a lot of students, it's hard for them to dig deeper, okay? But you got to, especially when it comes to poetry. When in doubt, everything always means something more, okay? And I will show you how it impacts meaning. Oops. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Okay, again, we're just talking about this guy right here. He's making a decision. But sometimes when we're talking about paths or road, it's not a physical road we take. It's our paths and roads in life. So this guy is literally at a crossroads of what to do in his life. He sees 2 options that look really great, but now he's thinking like, okay, which one do I take now? And when it's talking about seasons or fall, especially in this case, what happens with fall when it changes seasons? It changes, right? So you go to, you have spring, you have summer, but everything's new, everything's different. Something new and exciting happens. When we're talking about seasons, especially like connotatively, that's like a season of life. So a stage of his life is now changing. It's now past, and now he's seeing these 2 roads, and he has to pick. What do I take? What road in life am I about to take? Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for the passing there had worn them really about the same. Okay, so this guy is looking at this one road, and he can see all the undergrowth, and maybe when it's talking about the undergrowth with everything like pointy and sticking out, like especially when we're hiking, when we see the bushes and stuff, you don't really go into them, right? That's kind of like talking about life's trials. They're pokey, they're everywhere. You can't really see what's truly under them, okay? And then it's talking about this other road, and he's understanding that that could probably be the better choice because it looks better. This is the whole the grass is greener on the other side type of deal. He is literally looking at this other road. He's looking at this other choice in life and saying like, you know what, that looks really good and really nice and wanted wear. I mean, people have done it. They seem happy. I could be happy too. But then he's looking at both of these and had worn them really about the same. And if you think of anything worn or kind of trodden on, like think of a horse like trotting on something or footprints everywhere, that's trodden and like it's worn. He's singing them both and goes, you know what, they're really worn about the same. They're different choices. You know, one's bendy and one's grassy and happy, but people have traveled both. Now he's weighing his options here. He's like, hey, one looks good, one one looks maybe better than the other, but both people have gone. I can see that maybe this is a good stage in life, but it's just kind of giving us a better sense, like, oh my gosh, this imagery is really mind-blowing me, and it's really meaning something else. It's the connotative meaning that we talked about earlier. See, all these things intertwine. Let's go into the last two stanzas. And both that morning equally lay. Okay, we gotta talk about this. In the morning, it's the new dawn. You know that one song? It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good. It's because it's a new day. This dawn, this morning time, okay, it's time for him to make a decision. It's time for him to choose. It's time for him to wake up and choose which road he's going to go on. Okay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Okay, so nothing's really made a decision yet. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I ever should come back. Okay, so he's decided which road to take. Okay, but he's kind of almost regretting that decision. He's like, should I take this way or not? Let's find out. What does he choose? When he's talking about if I doubted if I ever should come back, he's literally talking about the road he's wondering, I'm like, should I ever come back from this? I don't know. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. So he has definitely made his definite decision. Okay? Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Okay, this guy right here has chosen the way that maybe is not what everybody else has chosen. He's chosen a different path. Whether that be to you, the first road, or the second road, it doesn't matter. It's all about really your interpretation, which again goes into connotative because you can decide that for yourself. But it's the imagery that really helps this poem move. Okay, it's the yellowing, the roads, this physical imagery of nature, which nature could be a motif that leads us to the theme. Okay, and it's really just, it helps us put an image in our head. It's almost like if you close your eyes and listen to the poem, you can really picture this man making this decision, but it's really all about making life's decisions and choosing a road and sticking with it. And yeah, you could look back at it with a sigh and decide, maybe I didn't make the right choice, but I've took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. That has made me who I am by picking this road in life. When this new dawn, this morning where I've had to make the decision, this new season in my life with the yellowing of the leaves, okay, this imagery impacts it, all right? And that's important. It's all about the connotative meaning, okay? I really want you guys to think about that and understand that every time you read a story, every time you read a poem, the imagery especially is impacting the meaning. It always will mean something else. The author didn't just put in there for no reason, especially poetry, okay? It will always mean something else, so dig a little deeper, even if that means you have to do research. You know, okay, what does blue mean, okay? Or what could a dove symbolize? You're always looking at that symbolism because it's going to mean something else. Imagery and symbolism kind of go hand in hand because they mean something, okay? So I really want you guys to think about that, and I think it will help you a lot understanding poetry and literature. Okay, a couple more things. A couple of housekeeping items, something that have been driving me nuts. Double, triple check your spelling. You have the wonderful opportunity of being in an online school. You have spell check. You also have a dictionary resources that you can look up. Please use them. I can't tell you how many misspelled words I have seen, and it drives me insane because you have spell checker even in Odysseyware. Please use it. I do dock points off if it's an obvious misspelling of a word. If it's a really big word, hey, I'm going to give you credit for trying, but you should really double check, triple check. Okay, also use APE. Please watch the last video I talked about. That's how I expect you to write from now on. It will make you a better writer, I promise. Please also turn in completed assignments. I've had a lot of students turn in blank assignments, and I know you may not understand it, but that's when you need to email me or even message me with that help button in Odyssey, where I always get back to you and I will always help you. Okay, so please use that. I'd rather you turn in something rather than nothing, because some points is better than no points. Okay, if you are struggling, please email me, call me, or text me. I can't help you unless you ask me to, okay? And you really need to understand that I'm totally here to help you. You can comment on these YouTube videos and I will comment back to you. You can email me, call me, text me on the number that I gave you, whatever, and I will help you. I promise. But I can't help you unless you ask, okay? So I really hope you kind of take these things that I talked about into mind today. And again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 1:15 to 2:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You need to use those times to call me and we can figure something out, even if it's in like video messaging, and we can do it in Google Hangouts. I know Google Hangouts doesn't allow me to do the streaming thing anymore, which is why we've been using YouTube videos, but we can do one-on-one Google Hangout and I can help you. We can email back and forth. You can call me, and that's a really easy way to get a hold of me during those times. Okay, but please use those so I can help you. Yeah. Again, that's kind of all for today and all I wanted to talk about, because it is kind of a lot. I will make sure to put this slideshow in your Odysseyware, and it will always have an assignment with it, so please make sure you review it. Okay? Also, please watch the video. If you're watching this, you should know. Okay? Alright, awesome. You guys have a great day, and again, if you need me, message me, call me, email me, comment on the YouTube video. Thanks, guys.